Your trigger warnings for this episode are suicide and a very brief encounter with sexual assault. If these are not your bag, then just skip the whole episode. Sorry.
Be warned.
Be warned.
Welcome to Tober.
Toberfest.
How awful.
Name the song.
I don't know. I mean, I know, but
Wanna be my lover.
I would have never guessed, but yes, I know that song.
Yeah, I know you do.
Hey.
Hey. Why is that so aggressive? Hey.
Mesdames et messieurs et des bébés.
Oh.
Welcome to episode 50, number 50.
Oh,
we made
50.
It. We 50.
50.
Welcome.
I feel aged.
We wonder if you've been here since day one or if you've just hopped on and haven't caught up or what your dealio is. But anyway, regardless, hi.
What's the dealio?
Let's cheers.
What's the dealio?
Congrats to us. We have achieved 50 episodes.
Look at us. We stuck with it.
We did it. We did. Or at least a year.
We sure did.
Last week, you heard us talk about Jeffrey Dahmer and the Bell Witch, which I want to create a new hashtag, which is hashtag Dahmer loves biceps.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Weird flex, dude.
Literally a weird flex.
Izzy, why now? Why did you choose now?
Because it's always eating time when it's recording time.
She takes her dinner break up from her bowl to glare.
Yeah, she's like, first you want me to eat, and then you yell at me when I eat. What is the truth?
She's like,
so we sort of kind of failed you guys because we were hyping recording or filming or whatever us going to haunted bars, but here's the thing.
We forgot.
Well, I didn't forget. They just weren't haunted, so it wouldn't have been interesting.
True.
Like, we went to the bars that were so-called haunted, but then there were no stories about them. It was just, like, on a list of haunted places, and we went with our other friend who is he literally sees dead people, and there was no...
Constantly.
There was no dead people. I had no feelings, so it would have been a real boring video, although it was a very fun night.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Yeah.
We stayed out till like 2 a.m.
Which is so not like us.
You guys are like, ugh, whatever, 2 a.m. And we're like...
No, I think the last time we stayed out till 2 a.m. we were like 26 years old.
Yeah, well, we were hanging out with 23-year-olds, so that's why we made it through the night.
We are also 23.
Although they were like, oh my God, we want to go to bed. And we were like, one more bar.
They were literally like eyes watering, yawning at 11:30. Like, I could call it. And we're like, no, you will not.
We forced them out. And they were happy they went out.
Yeah, and then,
Now we found our new favorite bar.
We found our new favorite bar.
Not haunted.
Not haunted.
It wasn't on the list. We just happened to go there.
But still has spooky vibes.
Yeah, it's cool.
And
it's very witchy.
It's very witchy, yeah. Even the name, it's a witchy name. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want it. I don't want LA people to go and make it popular.
Yeah, it's ours. Back off.
Back off. Stay away. But yeah, we just stayed until last call for some reason. The children were yawning at the bar, but we made a Tesla fart. It was a good time. Did you know?
Izzy, no. Why?
Why? Do you do this every time?
Do you want to be heard? Do you have something to say? Do you have a story?
Do you have a spooky story? Then shut up.
I'm sure you do. You're a black cat.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that Tesla's fart, you can make them fart. There's a whoopee cushion app or feature.
It seemed like there was also other fun buttons that he was trying to show us, and we didn't care. We
were just like, fart more! Yeah, basically.
At 2 a.m, we were like, do farts noise!
Yeah, our mission on Saturday was annoy all of the Uber drivers. It was basically what it was.
First of all, they handed us Bluetooth or to plug into
Don't
music.
hand people and then get annoyed with their music taste.
You're gonna be annoyed. You can't do that and expect to be having a good time.
They handed it to the youngest of the squad, and she put on some Miley Cyrus tunes, and also Hairspray. The music, like Zac Efron, Hairspray.
And our friend said, if you don't know the words to this, you're dead to me.
Yes. So I felt a lot of pressure.
I've heard it, but I just didn't know the words to it.
I knew it, kind of. Not enough to not be dead to him, I don't think.
Yeah.
Guys,
I don't think you realized.
We're coming in. We're coming into the home stretch of October.
Sure are.
But we still got a lot in store.
Yeah.
And today it's a haunted episode.
It's a super paranormal episode. So if ghosties are your vibe, this is the one.
This is the one.
My topic was my favorite hometown paranormal story.
Cheers.
And I think the one that I'm going to do, you will not be surprised.
Okay.
That I'm doing this.
Am I going to be hyped?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready because you hyped it.
All right. Known as the home of presidents because it was used as campaign headquarters for Grover Cleveland, William McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Warren Harding, Calvin Coolidge, and finally, Franklin Roosevelt.
Sheesh.
The Congress Hotel.
Europe. Yep. Had to be done.
Had to be done.
Yeah.
And it is my favorite Chicago haunt.
It's a good one.
The Congress Hotel is known as the most haunted location in the Chicago area.
When you said you have a lot of really spooky stories, that is a plentiful, that is a cornucopia, if you will.
Literally, hands down, the most haunted place in Illinois.
There is so much video evidence. There's so much.
So much crap. I haven't seen video evidence. I want to see that.
You haven't seen the hallway stuff?
No.
Oh, man. Okay.
Can we watch it after this?
Yeah.
And then we'll post it on Patreon?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't do my research efficiently, apparently.
Yeah.
I didn't look on YouTube.
Yeah. You didn't see the one with the security guard that goes to the hotel room and you can literally hear screaming in the hotel room?
That's not the Congress Hotel.
Oh.
That's a different hotel.
Yeah, I know that. I think there's a Congress one where you see. Okay, I'll look it up after.
There may or may not be. We'll let you know.
I think that one was mislabeled the Congress, but you're right. It's like the Marriott or Hyatt.
Yeah,
or
it's a random hotel that I would have never. It's a really creepy video. If you know what we're talking about, just look up on YouTube.
Chicago.
I don't even think it's Chicago, but it's just like hotel. Security
it is Chicago.
Guard hotel haunting.
It is Chicago because it was mislabeled as the Congress Hotel, but it's like the Peninsula Hotel. It's like something else.
Did you know the Drake is also haunted?
Yes, very haunted.
Yes, I didn't know that. I discovered that while
haunted.
researching the
I
Congress
feel
Hotel.
it every time I go there around Christmas.
Yeah,
the bathrooms are messed up. But yeah, it just a very quick recap of the Not the Congress Hotel video. It's literally a security guard that's called to a hotel room because the neighboring hotel rooms are like, can you go check on this woman? She is screaming like her life depends on it.
Yeah.
And you hear the screaming in the security footage and you hear him on his walkie like, should I go in? And people are like, no, don't. So he's knocking. They're not answering. You still hear the screaming. And he eventually worries enough that he opens the door to go in, and when he opens the door, it's almost like this black mist travels across the security footage camera in the hall. But then he goes in there and there's nobody in there.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, the mist. A couple of my coworkers would watch that video. My friend Jose, who you met recently, is really, really into watching paranormal YouTube videos.
Pause for wine.
And he was like, let me show you this video. I was like, yeah, Jose, of course I've seen this video.
YouTube, again, cornucopia of videos.
My germs.
No germs.
Do you guys know what that quote is from?
My germs.
Do, let me know. It's so good. We're drinking a wine that was gifted to us from my boss.
Yes, it is from Santa Barbara County. That's why he didn't get Sweetser Cellars.
He told me I'm going to Los Olivos.
He did. He went to Santa Barbara.
And I was like, well, I mean, maybe he bought it at the Los Olivos restaurant.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you have to go to this restaurant. He's like, okay. I don't know if he went, but
that's what we should do when we go to Solvang with Anthony for Christmas.
Oh, 100%.
Go to Los Olivos for dinner and then we'll go home. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. So, most haunted place in Chicago, hands down. It was originally named the Auditorium Annex, built to house visitors to the World's Fair in 1893.
Right.
Which, if you don't know, was the event where notorious serial killer H.H. Holmes found and lured away victims to his murder castle.
Devil in the White City.
To do some murder.
Just to do some murder. Just a castle he built.
Yeah.
Especially designed.
And he told
for murder.
Yeah, he told women like, if you can't stay at the Congress Hotel, I have a much cheaper place that you could stay at. I'll give you the best rates in town. Yeah. And that's how he would get people to come to his murder castle.
Murder castle with body shoots.
Yeah, but that's for another episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just found that very interesting because it's tied to so many things. It's crazy.
Yep.
We
have very similar stories.
Great. I can't wait.
Different. Go ahead.
Not only, I think I know what you're going to do. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not only I'm fine. That was an outburst. I couldn't help it. Okay. Not only was the if it's not that, you're gonna laugh.
I know.
Okay. Not only was the Congress Hotel a headquarter for various leaders, it was also rumored to have been a headquarter for infamous mobster Al Capone.
Yeah.
There's so many stories.
Al Capone's freaking everywhere.
Yeah, there's so many stories about Al Capone that I don't know how true this is.
Yeah.
So please don't take this as fact.
Yeah.
This is just stories.
It's kind of like Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Apparently she haunts like 7 million places.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Al Capone is the Marilyn Monroe of Chicago.
Definitely.
Where Marilyn Monroe haunts freaking everywhere in LA, Al Capone haunts everywhere in Chicago. Like every haunted place is like, did you know Al Capone haunts here?
I'm
like,
sure
really?
he does. Yeah.
Like some people have said that they've seen like a heavy set man walking down the hallways that resembles Al Capone. I don't know if that's true.
And Al Capone haunts Alcatraz too. And Al Capone haunts that Irish pub on Archer that's right by our house. Al Capone's everywhere.
I kind of buy that one because I've heard that several different times.
Yeah.
This is the first I'd heard about the Congress Hotel, but I wasn't surprised to hear it.
No.
They say that the stories say that Peg Leg Johnny was killed in an alley behind the hotel by Al Capone.
I wonder if he had a peg leg.
I would hope so. But I think the real story is that Al Capone made a call from the Congress Hotel that essentially cued the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Right.
So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That is true. So suicide is rife at the Congress Hotel.
Is it?
Sure is.
Okay.
Many guests have thrown themselves over atrium railings.
Oh.
After his death in the fall of 2001, some see this man dressed in a suit and tie, gazing over the atrium.
Oh, no.
Various drug overdoses have occurred, and in those rooms, people will see a dark figure hovering over their bed, disembodied voices, and the dishevelment of their clothes and belongings, oftentimes while the guest is in the bathroom.
I had to pass the Congress quite often to get to one of my fiction writing buildings. It's not a vibe.
No, and for the record, the Congress Hotel was like walking distance from our apartment.
Yeah.
Like you said, you had to
like
walk
12
past
blocks,
it.
Yeah.
It was really, really close. It was on our school campus.
Yep.
So we were very, very close. That's why this to me feels like super hometown.
Super hometown, because it was our home, literally.
James Kennedy from New York checked in alone in May 1910.
James Kennedy from Vanderpump Rules.
I doubt it.
Oh, okay.
This is 1910.
Different James. Oh, okay. No, I guess not. It's fine. Sorry. Continue.
He went to his room. He cut the dry cleaner identification tags off of his clothes. He burned his papers, walked to Lake Michigan, and shot himself.
Aye.
Later that same year, an insurance salesman named Andrew Mack called a friend staying in their shared room at the hotel before drowning himself in Lake Michigan at the foot of Van Buren Street.
Mm-hmm.
Another salesman threw himself down an elevator shaft. Another person jumped off the roof of the North Tower, and a family man hung himself from a cupboard hook.
Ugh.
I'm not even done with the suicide yet.
Go, yay.
Yeah. Sorry. In the summer of 1916, mining investor Morse Davis and his wife were believed to have formed a suicide pact when Davis was found dead in room 312 of cyanide poisoning. His wife survived and claimed that she had taken the cyanide by accident, confusing it with Epsom salts. A few days later, she tried to throw herself out of a third-story window, but was stopped and sent to a psychiatric hospital.
That's interesting, because back in that time, women only ingested Epsom salts when they were trying to, like, dry up breast milk.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they would do that if they had, like, miscarried or had a stillbirth or just wanted to stop breastfeeding. They would take Epsom salt, like, literally, like, ingest Epsom salt so it would dry up there.
I wonder if they had lost a child and that's why
what led to it, maybe.
But I think she was lying when she said that she confused it with Epsom salts.
Yeah, you think she killed him?
No, I think she wanted to kill herself, but it didn't work for her.
Oh, got it.
Because, like I said, a few days later, she tried to throw herself off of a third-story window, but was stopped and sent to a psychiatric hospital. Okay, this one's really bad. I'm sorry.
Oh, boy.
On August 4th, 1939, a mother by the name of Adele Langer threw herself and her two young sons, Carol, 6 years old, and Jan, 4, from the 13th floor window. Her widower explained that they had been forced to flee Nazi influence in their homeland of Prague, leaving their home and family. That day was the last day before their 6-month visa would expire. and they would be sent back to Nazi Germany. But the reason why this is even more terrible than it already is that Adele did not know that a letter would later arrive that stated that they could seek permanent refuge in Canada.
Okay.
So literally later that day, they got a letter that said they could seek refuge.
Oh, no.
And she already killed
Isn't
her.
that
Her
always
kids.
how it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In August of 1950, a Congress Hotel employee came to a guest's room to collect a $104 hotel bill, and the guest shot the employee,
Jesus.
then shot himself. In May of 1966, an attorney from Rockford named Frederick Hay was found naked with his wrists and feet bound by his socks, strangled to death by his shirt.
Okay. Congress Hotel, by the way, not in a bad part of Chicago.
Oh no, it's in a great part of Chicago.
Yeah, this would have been like a luxury hotel room.
For those familiar with like, it's not
Chicago
the boroughs,
geography,
but it's
I
like
guess.
the pieces of Chicago. It's in the South Loop.
Yeah.
So it's off of
It's Michigan Avenue.
Michigan Avenue and like
Almost
Congress.
at the Miracle Mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really close to the lake. As you can hear, you can walk
see
to
it
the
from
lake.
the
Yeah.
lake, or you can see it from Lakeshore
Yeah.
Drive.
I used to go on runs on Lakeshore.
Yeah, I know.
So and I used to turn at Congress
Yeah.
to come around,
Yeah.
and then I would go down to Michigan Avenue and I would run past Congress Hotel to come back home. That was my running route.
It's okay.
Which is
It's
weird.
just like, I remember so vividly living in Chicago, but at the same time, like it feels like a totally different lifetime.
Yeah.
So long ago.
My mom's gonna cringe when she hears that I went on a running route downtown Chicago.
I mean, yeah, I hated it. Especially when you were like, yeah, I took the museum tunnel. Like, the museum tunnel!
I
Are
love
you trying to get raped?
I love going that way because it was right on the lake shore. It was so beautiful. It was off of traffic.
I know, but oh my God,
But it was always crowded.
I know.
When I went, I would never go at weird times.
Made me so nervous.
Anyway, I'm not invincible, but I definitely try and run at smart times.
Yeah, but she was also much younger, and that was the age where we didn't think bad things happened to us. So we probably were a little bit braver.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so suicide adjacent is perhaps the oldest verified death at the Congress Hotel. Captain Lou Ostheim was staying at the hotel in preparation for his wedding. On that Saturday, Captain Lou went to get a marriage license and a revolver, which he kept on his nightstand when going to bed. That night, he was found dead in his room from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. However, it was determined that Captain Lou regularly suffered from night terrors.
Oh my God.
And that he must have shot himself accidentally immediately after waking up in the middle of a nightmare. Now, there's no proof that that's what happened.
Yeah.
But that's what they think happened because he was like super excited about his wedding and like.
Yeah, he wasn't acting like somebody who was.
He went to go get a marriage license, which
Right.
is planning for the future. Like there was no indication that he was going to commit suicide.
Right.
But his bride said that he would have night terrors and that he would like sometimes inflict violence on himself.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense that
Adds
that's what happened.
up.
Why he slept with a revolver next
When
to
he
his
has night
bed.
terrors that he inflicts harm on himself. Yeah, that's not the men.
I
Right.
don't know, but I don't know what year this was, but this was clearly a really long time ago.
Okay.
Okay, on the non-suicide front.
Coco, yeah.
These are accidental deaths now.
Okay.
In 1904, an elevator operator accidentally fell 70 feet to the subfloor, dying on impact.
Okay.
July 1926, Mrs. Harriet Harrison, yes, that's her name.
Harriet Harrison.
Mrs., so she married somebody with the last name Harrison. Let's
It's like
give
the
her
lady
that.
from Trading Spaces, Paige.
Yes. Oh,
Yep.
she's a Mrs.
Thomas. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually met a Thomas.
That
doesn't count.
That one
because-
is not yet. That one he was named
Yes.
Thomas when his last name was Thomas.
Yeah, there was a Thomas on my show.
No, it was your teacher.
There's also a Thomas on my last
You've
show.
met two Thomases?
Yes.
Oh, Lord Christ.
Okay, anyway, lots of Thomases in the world.
Sorry.
So Mrs. Harrison took a wrong step and plunged 6 stories down an elevator shaft to the hotel basement. There are several accidental deaths that happened. I didn't obviously list them all. There was also something that I didn't mention was there was a lot of speculation that Al Capone would rent rooms at the Congress Hotel and keep people prisoner there and interrogate them there.
Okay.
So there's a possibility that he killed people in rooms.
Fair.
But never actually had a residency at the Congress Hotel. So that's just for the record.
Got it.
He never actually
He
stayed
didn't
there.
live there. They
No.
just thought that he used it.
But a lot of people did live there back then.
Right. It was kind of commonplace to, I mean, it's still commonplace for some people to live in hotels.
And like families would live in the hotel as well. Now for the hauntings. Mm. The hotel itself hosts at least 47 distinctly haunted rooms.
Jesus Christ.
You're making a mess.
I'm sorry.
What's going on with you?
You said 47 and I jolted.
Yeah, it's that alarming.
47?
47 distinctly haunted rooms. And I think there's like 800 rooms or something like that, which is still a lot.
So we need to do multiple episodes investigating Congress.
I don't know if I want to after reading this.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. No, honestly, I mean,
And there's at least 2 haunted ballrooms, which we'll get into eventually because we do have a personal
experience.
In addition to common areas such as employee workrooms and public guest areas.
Yeah.
The whole thing is haunted.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Florentine Room is an ornately painted ballroom originally used as a roller rink for the World's Fair visitors.
Fun.
Security guards claim to hear cheerful organ music from outside the locked doors. The piano is known.
Organ music?
Yeah, cheerful organ music. I don't know.
Oxymoron.
That sounds still haunting.
Oxymoron.
The piano is known to play by itself. They can also hear wooden skate wheels, and at times a woman can be heard screaming on the east side of the room.
Okay.
In the restroom that's attached to that ballroom, a female entity appears in the mirrors and follows the patrons out down the hallway.
Absolutely freaking not, lady.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Oh my God, that would happen to me. I don't like that.
Yeah,
okay.
that would 100%. You have bathroom trauma. I don't know what's up with you.
Bathroom trauma, yeah.
In the Gold Room, which is known as a hot spot for Chicago wedding receptions, photography is often messed with here.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
If you take a photo around the grand piano, they tend to develop with one or more people missing from the pictures. The doors never stay locked. No matter how often they are securely locked by guards.
Oh my God.
Now.
Yes.
The Gold Room. So we have talked about this weird Chicago ghost tour that we've been on.
Yes.
There was one night where they took us off route to the Congress Hotel, which the Congress Hotel, the employees of the Congress Hotel are not allowed to talk about how it's haunted.
No.
It's one of those hotels.
But they would let this ghost tour in if we didn't acknowledge it. It had to be very hush-hush.
Yes. And I even think that I remember that they parked the bus around the corner. And they were like, just act like guests.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to park on the other side. They're like, act normal. We're going to walk straight back to the ballroom.
So they walked us around. They told us some of these stories.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember these stories, but I remember the ballroom.
Yeah.
So we walked up. I don't remember what floor it was on, but we walked up one floor and there was freaking mirrors everywhere. Which was horrifying. And then you pass all these mirrors and you walked into a ballroom that was
pitch
just
black.
Unlocked.
Yeah.
And pitch black.
Yeah.
And at the time it was me, B, and my cousin Jesse was visiting.
Yeah.
So he got really, really lucky that he got to go on this tour when something offbeat happened. Because we had been on this tour before and we never stopped at the Congress Hotel.
No.
That was never a stop because they weren't allowed to stop.
Right.
But they really liked our group that night and they were like, all right, let's
This
wing
will be
it.
a good time, yeah.
So we walk into the ballroom and they're talking about how like there was wedding receptions and like I didn't find any stories like this, but they talked about a bride that sometimes haunts the Gold Room. I had like one of those old digital cameras at the time. I think it was like 2000 and
honestly, I don't even know if they did talk about a bride. I think they were just talking about weddings.
Yeah, they just mentioned. Yeah, maybe I just made that up because of something. So they were talking about how this was used for wedding receptions and blah 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 blah. So I'm taking pictures of the space and I stopped because I noticed that somebody walked through my frame. And I laugh and I go, oh, Jesse, my cousin Jesse. And I'm like, oh, Jesse, you just walked through my frame and made a really weird, like, image.
Yeah.
And nobody responds to me. And I turn around and everybody had walked out of the ballroom or was like on their way out.
Yeah, we were like behind, you were in the middle of the ballroom and we were like
and
by
you
the
guys
doors.
were like by the doors, like exiting.
Yeah.
And I turn around and I like run over to you guys and you had felt something around the same time.
Yeah. You took the picture.
I'll let you tell that part. Yeah, I took a picture.
You took the picture and I felt like burning on my arm, but it was really dark in there. So I couldn't like look at it. I just felt burning and there was nobody like standing with me. Jesse Ray was kind of like looking around. Yeah. I don't know why I always call him. It's the Southern in me. I always call him Jesse Ray.
That's his name. Just like I'm Tanya Lee.
Yeah.
But everybody calls me Tanya, but my real name is Tanya Lee.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we walked out into the hallway into like the light, I pulled up my sleeve and I had very clear, like someone had taken their nails and scratched them up
Yes.
my arm. And I showed the tour like guide that, and he was like, "Oh, that's crazy. Like that happens from time to time. Pay attention to it, like through the duration of the tour."
See if it sticks.
Yeah, and I want to say like less than 10 minutes later it was gone. Like after we left the Congress, it was gone. But it was like deep, it was red, and it was like a welt. So it wouldn't have gone away that quickly, but it went away really quick.
Yeah. And I remember like we started to leave and I was like, hey, like, because it was the kind of digital camera where you could see your photos.
Yeah.
And I was like looking at it and I was like, this is weird, right?
Yeah.
It looks like a body. And you guys were like, oh my God, yeah, you need to show him.
Yeah.
Show the tour guide. And I was like, no, because I'm pretty skeptical in a way. And I was just like, there's no way. Like, I'm not that special.
Yeah.
And so I did show the tour guide, and all night long people had been showing. That's why I didn't want to, because all night long people had been showing him pictures.
Like,
and he's like, that's dust. Calm down. Like, he was kind of making fun of people for like taking pictures.
That's what we liked about this tour is he was just as skeptical. Like he wasn't quick to believe stuff, and he wasn't making stuff up for entertainment value. No,
he wasn't going to amp up the haunt and be like, oh, look, you got a ghost picture. Like that wasn't their vibe. They were really genuine, really cool people.
Yeah.
And so I showed him my picture hesitantly because I was like, ugh, he's going to make fun of me.
Right.
And he literally was like, oh my God, you have to email that to me because we got to put that on the website.
Which it might still be. I don't know if
think
it's still
I looked
in business
recently and I didn't see it. No, I don't think the tour is still happening, unfortunately. I did email that guy, but I never heard back, sadly.
Oh.
But anyway, so I have the picture still. And we will post it on Instagram a couple days after this episode airs. So please look out for our Instagram.
It's you'll see it. It's in the left-hand side, and it almost looks like smoke, but there's some solidity to it, and it looks like a bride. Like it looks like a gown and a veil trailing behind her.
It looks like a bride leaving the frame.
Yeah, walking out of frame.
Yeah. And I've showed it to several people now because it's one of my ghost stories that I tell.
Yeah.
And I haven't told it
there
on the
is
show yet.
No explanation that makes sense because there was nothing in this room.
I was honestly holding on to this because I knew that one of us would cover the Congress Hotel eventually. So I was like, I'm not going to tell that story until we cover it because I think it's a good time to tell that story. But it is something that I share with a lot of people and everyone's always flabbergasted by it. Mm-hmm. And there really was no way to debunk that. There was no light in the room. Literally, it was pitch black.
And
I didn't have the flash on.
It's in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't like towards the wall where you could kind of explain maybe it's a reflection of something. It was literally in the middle of the room.
There was also no mirrors in this room. I know we talked about mirrors outside, but there was no mirrors inside of this ballroom.
It was a wood paneled ballroom.
Yeah, made of gold actually.
It was it was
gold
wood
all over the
panel,
walls.
but there was gold. Yeah.
Which is how I remembered it actually being the gold room. So it was really crazy when I read that photography is often messed with in this room.
Yeah.
Because I was like, holy shit, that's exactly my experience.
I don't know. Did we talk about it when you did the Hull House about that girl who got the picture of the thing like reaching out to touch her friend's shoulder?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm the worst.
I think that was like episode 3.
Yeah.
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 That's actually still one of my favorite episodes we've done. Yeah. That was a good one.
It was a good one.
But yeah, that was a really crazy story. Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway, diving back in, I have a lot more to tell.
Okay.
That's our personal story, so I'm going to tell you more of other people's that I've read about.
Yeah.
Guests have reported elevators mysteriously stopping at the most haunted floors. For example, there is an entity that lingers at the 5th floor passenger elevator, and moaning is often heard by guests while they wait for the elevator.
That's a hotel.
Yeah. Well.
Not that kind of moaning?
No.
Okay.
Like ghost moans. Okay, on the 3rd floor hallway, a one-legged man is frequently reported to the front desk. By guests who think that he's a homeless man and found his way into the hotel. And they're like, can somebody take care of this homeless man that's just like hanging out on the 3rd floor? And they're like, oh, no, we often hear about that man.
Okay.
Yeah, so a former hotel employee remembers a man with a wooden leg, always smiling and leaving really big tips. But he had a heart attack and died at breakfast while staying at the hotel.
Oh.
Yeah. Some claim to see a disembodied hand reaching out of the back of the closet, perhaps belonging to a worker who was buried alive during the construction of the hotel. Yeah.
Okay.
Creepy. In the South Tower, a 10-year-old boy is a popular apparition. He is often seen running up and down the halls wearing knee breeches and high button boots.
Okay.
Which a lot of people say like things like polio and whatnot were
right.
a big hit back then.
Right.
So it's makes sense why maybe he would have knee breeches and maybe he died.
Yeah.
Of something like that. Room 905. So now I'm actually going to tell you about specific rooms, which if you're listening and you would like to visit the Congress Hotel, get a pen and paper because I'm going to tell you about specific rooms to stay in.
Oh boy. Okay.
Room 905 has a consistent... Room 905 has consistent phone static when using the phone.
Okay.
But that's about it when it comes to rooms in the South Tower.
Okay.
But in the North Tower, guests claim that blankets have been pulled off of them in the middle of the night.
See, I don't mess with that. I don't want to stay in a room with that.
No. Items move across the room and sounds of whispering at the bottom of their beds saying things like, "Are they still awake?"
Ah! No! Oh! No,
Yes.
eject. I would be packing up my stuff, be like, we're going to your mom's. We're not staying here.
That was something that somebody's personal story was that they heard.
Absolutely not. 2
people heard that.
No.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
No.
You all know that I love shared experiences, and that one was a good one.
No.
The same person who stayed in this room said that a shower blasted full force in the middle of the night, filling the bathroom with steam, when earlier that night he was unable to get a trickle and no warm water. Room 441.
Uh-huh.
The room that has the most calls to security on any given night. A woman often shakes the bed violently in the middle of the night and can be seen hovering over the bed. Yet no deaths have been reported in that room, so they're not sure who that lady is or why she decided to torment the guests in that room.
Sure.
Room 474, a judge who was once a resident of the hotel eternally changes the channel on the TV. I'll stay in that room.
Okay.
That seems
that's
harmless.
fine. Change the channel.
Room 759, a former resident who is said to have been an elderly gentleman whose son had come to take him to a nursing home, fought his son and security by holding the door shut. He continues to pull the door shut from inside when guests try to enter.
That's fine.
Yeah, that one's fine too. He just doesn't want to leave.
That's fine.
Eternally.
That's sad, but that's fine.
Yeah. Other rooms, the investigator who I used as a source, who I talked about.
Yeah.
I had that "Are you still awake?" experience.
Absolutely not.
These rooms that he was asked not to disclose the room numbers for.
Oh, wow.
Photos on the wall sometimes rotate in 360 degrees in front of guests. Like they move while they're looking at them. Yeah. One room hosted an exorcism once.
Yep.
2 Marines in 1989 stayed in a room and went running out in their boxers at 3 a.m., later explaining that a towering black figure had entered through the closet coming straight for their beds.
No!
Yes.
Jesus.
This place is crazy.
Horrible.
Another room hosts a woman who slit her wrists in the bathtub in the 1970s, who is said to roam the room at night.
Okay.
And lastly, Stephen King stayed at the hotel for a few nights, and some say he wrote the book 1408, based on his experience in Congress Hotel's room 666.
No.
This is true, but the room itself cannot be rented anymore.
Okay.
That room number technically does not exist. It goes from 665 to 667.
Okay.
Currently. The space where the room's door could have been is drywalled over. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And window washers who hang outside the windows claim that the room is still furnished inside.
They just left it and walled it off.
It was known as the most haunted room at the hotel. It reportedly houses a silhouette of a woman, objects move without being touched, lights flicker on and off throughout the night, etc. I'm sure more horrifying things have happened that have not been documented, but yeah. Some other things that I read were there are several rooms that don't have doorknobs at the Congress Hotel. So I don't know if those rooms were really haunted. They're trying to keep
whatever's in.
Yeah. It's also really, really hard to get around the Congress Hotel.
Yeah,
people have claimed they get lost very frequently. And that the hallways, and literally every experience are this looks like The freaking Shining.
Yeah.
It is a really creepy hotel. It's very old.
Yes.
Obviously, it was built in the 1890s, so it is ancient.
Yep.
But
Everything in
it
Chicago
is
is
beautiful.
ancient.
If you go inside, it is actually really, really beautiful. You go in the
Yeah.
lobby. The elevator actually looks like the elevator from The Shining.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So my sources.
Okay.
An insider article called "I spent 3 nights in Chicago's most haunted hotel, and it was just as terrifying as The Shining" by Frank Alito.
Okay.
A Chicago Hauntings blog entry called "The King of Haunted Chicago" by Ursula, whoever she is. 97 Zoc FM, that's a real
Okay.
station in Rockford, wrote an article called "Haunted Chicago Hotel is the fuel for some very terrifying nightmares" by Steve Shannon.
Sure is.
And then obviously my other sources, just me and you.
Yeah, me and you. Because
Our personal experiences and Weird Chicago, I'll source them because they definitely gave...
Was it Weird Chicago or
Yes.
was it Chicago Ghost Tours?
No, it was Weird Chicago.
Weird Chicago. Oh, yeah, because we have the Weird Chicago book that he signed.
Yeah.
So that's true. Oh my God. I got goosebumps several times.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope you sleep at night.
I'll sleep fine.
That one is really spooky.
It was very spooky. Very good job, friend.
Thanks. Happy Tobers. Yeah. Yeah. Hit me up.
Yeah, pause for remainder of line.
It's time.
Oh, sorry.
Sully me. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Well, like I said, mine is pretty similar with some differences, but some oddly very similar characteristics.
Okay.
That are kind of bizarre. So, all right. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
So I have my favorite LA haunting.
I'm gripping.
Okay. So, beyond the front doors lies the stories of 80 deaths and countless other brutal crimes.
I'm aghast.
Serial killer Richard Ramirez even called it home during much of his 1985 murder spree. Most recently, 21-year-old Canadian student Elisa Lam died during her stay under mysterious, disturbing circumstances.
Ooh, I got goosies. It's not what I thought you were going to do, but I'll take it.
We are, of course, talking about none other than downtown LA's...
The Cecil Hotel.
Exactly. What do you think I was doing?
I thought maybe you would do the Biltmore.
Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't.
The Biltmore is
I
also
should have
very
looked at it.
I don't know if there's a lot of information on the bill, as much information as there is on the Cecil Hotel.
I'll be honest, this is going to be more about all of the horrible things that have happened at the Cecil and less about hauntings.
I mean, it's definitely haunted.
Yeah. The hotel closed its doors 4 years ago, following an eventful decade of attempted reinvention.
Oh, wait, you can't go there. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you can't.
My mom or my cousin was like, "Are you going to stay at the Cecil Hotel?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't think I want to." But
absolutely not. Even if we could go there, I would not go there.
No, it's like,
and you'll find out why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, aware of the Cecil's reputation, its new owners had tried to rebrand it as a hip, low-budget hostel called Stay on Main, an effort that stumbled in 2013 when Lamb's body was found in a rooftop water tank after the tenants of the hotel and the Cecil, because Stay on Main and the Cecil were two separate entities in the same place. They just had two separate entrances. So they would have the residents, the low income residences that were all for lack of, these were people who were struggling with drugs. They were struggling with mental illness and homelessness, and they were kind of known to be a little outlawish. They would be staying on certain floors while other floors were Stay on Main. And they had to share they had different entrances, but they had to share the same elevator.
So it's still the same space.
Young hostile tourists would be getting in the elevators with these really crazy, really creepy tenants of the Cecil.
Oh, good God. Stay on Main.
So, yeah, these people, how Elisa was found, which we talked about a little bit. I'm not going to go in depth about Elisa because we've talked about her already.
We talked about her on Johnny's episode.
Yes, exactly. But just for a reminder, they found her in the water tanks because people could taste her in the tap water.
Yeah. There's a lot of theories, but
yeah,
I think we would do disrespect to her.
We're not going to disrespect her.
Yeah.
Today, the place has an eerie vibe. Its modern Stay on Main branding sits awkwardly alongside the ornate 1920s architecture of the building, vivid orange clashing with gold trim. But if you peer through the glass, you can still see the opulent lobby, all marble and terrazzo flooring and wrought iron lamps. How did this elegantly designed hotel go from being a lively, desirable destination to what one detective quoted in the Netflix documentary described as, quote, hell on earth. To understand what happened to the Cecil, you first have to understand what happened to Los Angeles.
Oh.
Though now known as a place where you can't survive without a car, LA once boasted a sprawling public transit system that crisscrossed the entire city. In the early 20th century, it was the largest electric railway system in the world. Proximity to the railway lines was central to the Cecil's appeal when it opened its doors in 1927. Its Main Street destination was then at the beating heart of the city, surrounded by theaters, restaurants, shopping, and the Spring Street financial district.
Do we know how old Los Angeles, like Hollywood, is?
I'm sure
California?
it's
I
Googleable.
don't actually know, but I'm curious.
Go ahead and Google it. Because the old pictures of it was literally, it was dirt roads and a few buildings. That's what's crazy to me.
Incorporated in 1903. So it's still like about 24 years old at this point.
Not old.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's designed by local architect Loy Lester Smith and named after the prominent hotel of the same name in London, the Cecil, catered to business travelers and tourists who wanted to be where the action was. By 1931, the hotel had seen its first suicide. W.K. Norton, whose body was discovered beside a pile of poison capsules.
Oh.
In 1934, for example, Army Sergeant Louis D. Borden slashed his throat with a razor.
His own throat?
Yeah.
Holy, can you okay, here's the thing. I hope you can't. But can you even imagine just being like, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Yeah. I'm over this. And just slitting your own throat?
Slitting your own throat. Well, Army Sergeant Louis D. Borden did.
Like, look, I don't get it, but I kind of understand the appeal.
The appeal?
Okay, maybe you're right. Let's not use the word appeal.
Yeah.
The gun to the head.
Sure. Fast, quick, done.
Right? You're
probably get a bit of an adrenaline rush right before you die.
It doesn't feel like you're actually inflicting pain on yourself.
Sure.
Slitting your own throat,
that's
hanging yourself. Like some of these, I'm just like,
why do you want to feel pain? Less than 4 years later, Roy Thompson of the Marine Corps jumped from atop the Cecil Hotel and was found on the skylight of a neighboring building.
Oh, it's like that guy from Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah. The next few decades only saw more violent deaths. In 1937, 25-year-old Grace E. Magro became the fourth person to die at the hotel when she fell from the 9th story, her body tangled in telephone wires.
What year?
1937.
So, it's only been 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And we're on our fourth death.
I genuinely wonder if this is a common occurrence at normal hotels or if there's just
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. If anybody works at a hotel, can you let us know?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of deaths at hotels that are undisclosed. It makes sense. But yeah. Police were unable to determine whether it was suicide, an accident, or something more insidious.
More insidious?
More insidious.
Oh, God.
In September 1944, 19-year-old Dorothy Jean Purcell awoke in the middle of the night with stomach pains while she was staying at the Cecil with Ben Levin, or Levine, I don't know which one, 38 years old. She went to the bathroom so as not to disturb a sleeping Levine, and to her complete shock, gave birth to a baby boy.
What? Wait, what?
She had no idea she'd been pregnant.
Okay. Sure.
Mistakenly thinking, her newborn was dead. Purcell threw her live baby out the window and onto the roof of the building next door.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, good God.
At her trial, she was found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity, and she was admitted to a hospital for psychiatric treatment. Which is not a place she wanted to be in 1944.
No.
No.
I'd say no.
So in 1962, 65-year-old George Giannini was walking by the Cecil with his hands in his pockets when he was struck to death by a falling woman.
So she was killing herself and killed somebody else in the process.
Yep. Pauline Otten, 27, jumped from her 9th floor window after an argument with her estranged husband, Dewey.
Oh.
Yeah. Her fall killed both her and Giannini instantly. Police initially thought the two had committed suicide together, but reconsidered when they found Giannini was still wearing shoes. If he had jumped, his shoes would have fallen off.
Oof. Fun fact, we almost named Moosh, the assistant, Dewey.
After Deputy Dewey.
From Scream.
Yes, very important.
If you're fans of Scream, holla!
Very important. If I let you name your dog Dewey, I'm giving you one of my coveted names. It's very important.
I probably won't. I want to name my dog after a Beatles song, because how cliche.
That's fine. I'll get a cat and name it Dewey.
Yeah, I want a dog named Rigby.
I know you do.
Girl or boy, that works.
It's a cute name.
Yeah.
So the Cecil's first foray into crime history came in 1947 when Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia, was allegedly spotted having a drink at the hotel days before her murder.
Heyo.
This story is in dispute, however, but it's worth mentioning it only for its popularity.
Yeah.
But even if you toss out the Black Dahlia connection, it's not the only notorious true crime case embedded in the Cecil Hotel's history. A local woman known around the area named Goldie Osgood was found dead in her ransacked room at the Cecil. She had been raped before suffering a fatal stabbing and beating. Though one suspect was found walking with blood-stained clothing nearby, he was later cleared and her killer was never convicted. So what was that dude doing walking around with blood-stained clothing? If he was... Okay. Sure? No questions
no
on
sense.
that? Okay. Another instance of disturbing violence at the Cecil that has gone unresolved. Soon, the action in downtown took a turn. The Great Depression hit the area hard, as did the rise of the suburbs and the birth of LA's freeway system. Once the freeways were built in the early 1950s, people began settling further away from the core of the city, leaving downtown increasingly unoccupied. Entire buildings sat vacant, with restaurants, bars, or jewelry stores doing business on the ground floor and 6 stories sitting empty above. So it was a ghost town, basically.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
By 1960s, LA's streetcar system was torn out, putting a final nail in the coffin of downtown as any kind of city center. Walking around the neighborhood, you can see the anchor hooks on the corners of buildings where the streetcar cables used to connect. The scars of a wound from which the neighborhood has never recovered. And that's very true.
It's very obvious if you've ever driven past
Downtown
Cecil.
Chicago is probably 90% depressing.
It's that specific area too is really terrifying.
I worked in that area. Okay. As the population of Los Angeles surged during the 1960s, downtown was trapped in amber, an increasingly edgy ghost town. So this is a quote from Kim Cooper.
Who's she?
It doesn't say.
She's a lady.
She's a lady. Maybe it's a gentleman, but probably a lady.
I understand.
What the fuck was that?
Siri.
Oh my god, that scared the hell out of me. Oh my god.
Disembodied voices, anybody?
Jesus Christ. I was like, why did I just hear I don't think I understand really loudly in my headphones?
In a man's voice.
Oh my god. Jesus, that just made me want to throw up.
Oh,
okay. Jesus. All right, so quote from Kim Cooper. Jesus Christ.
That lady, not Siri.
Quote, "It became a lawless kind of place and a place for people who couldn't or didn't want to live in any other kind of environment. And even within downtown, their options were dwindling. So according to the LA Chamber of Commerce, roughly half of downtown LA's small hotels were demolished during the 1960s, an unintended consequence of stricter building codes, which contributed to the displacement of a significant number of extremely low-income, substance-dependent, and or mentally unstable persons. So now there's just a gigantic homeless community.
Yeah.
Which
is valid. We've seen that.
Oh, yeah. Many of these people ended up on Skid Row, just yards from the Cecil. Crime became rampant in and around the hotel. The LAPD would routinely respond to multiple calls a day from the hotel. Multiple calls a day.
Yeah.
And so, no longer able to attract business travelers or tourists, hotels like the Cecil began offering single-room occupancy accommodations, where down on their luck tenants would rent solo rooms with shared bathrooms, often on a long-term basis. So some people live there like 10 years.
Right.
So this is when Richard Ramirez comes in, better known as the Night Stalker.
That guy.
He was the terror of coastal California from April 1984 to August 1985. In less than a year and a half, he murdered no fewer than 38 people, ages 9 to 83, in a killing spree that spread all the way from Orange County to San Francisco. And when he was operating in Los Angeles, his base of operations was the Cecil Hotel. He even disposed of evidence, including bloody clothes, in the hotel's dumpster.
Oh.
The Night Stalker has pretty high name recognition, and his crimes were particularly heinous, but the story of Jack Unterweger has another particularly creepy wrinkle. An Australian serial killer, he committed his first murder in his home country in 1974 and was convicted and sentenced for his crime. About 10 years later, he released a memoir entitled Purgatory or the Trip to Jail, Report of a Guilty Man, which became a bestseller and helped convince officials he had reformed. Spoiler alert, he had not.
Oh, you don't say.
It wasn't just the cops that he'd fooled. His story was soon told as an example of the prison system's success. And eventually, he even began working as a journalist and public broadcasting host on the true crime beat. So his specialty, the heinous murders of sex workers, just like the crime that had led to his conviction.
Yeah.
So in 1991, he checked into the Cecil to cover a story about street crime in Los Angeles. While he was in the city, 3 sex workers were attacked and killed in a way that mirrored Unterweger's crime. And police were able to definitively tie the journalist to the murders, obviously.
Right.
Most disturbing of all was the fact that as police on both sides of the Atlantic began to more closely examine the case, they realized that Unterweger had also committed many of the very same murders that he had covered on air.
My jaws open.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Can you say that? Is that a thing you could say?
That's a thing you can say. So yeah, this guy was literally reporting on his own murders as if he hadn't done that. Talk about crazy. So many suspect that he chose
Well, it's like the Golden State Killer.
I know.
Investigating his own
murders.
Murders and rapes.
So many suspect that he chose the Cecil specifically because of its connection to Ramirez, but it's impossible to tell. Unterweger killed himself in prison shortly after his second conviction, tying the ligatures with the same distinctive knot used on all of his victims.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. Okay, in 2007, as downtown LA was rapidly gentrifying, new owners set out to turn the Cecil around. Quote, it didn't take long to realize that the place was different, end quote, says Amy Price, who was hired at as the hotel's general manager in 2007. Price had never worked in the hotel industry before taking the job and had what one could only imagine was a baptism by fire. She said, quote, talking with the hotel employees, many of whom had been there for years, I quickly realized that there were some things going on that were completely new to me. We were faced with a lot, there is no question, but we were running a legitimate business and the people that worked there cared. We showed up every day to do a job and survive, and we did our best.
Jesus.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to use the word survive when
we did our best
doing your job. One major challenge the hotel's new owners faced was that it was a protected low-income building, and they weren't told this. So with a number of long-term residents who could not simply be evicted to make space for more guests. So they were not legally allowed to evict these people, and they weren't told that when they bought it. So they bought a hotel with a bunch of tenants that were not above board, basically.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that's why Stay on Main rebranding was their solution to this problem. That's why they did like a half and half thing. So they designated certain floors of the building for long-term residents and others for hip hostel-style accommodations geared towards young tourists on a budget. So you're putting young people in here with these people.
Yeah.
Yes. So one of the Stay on Main tourists was Elisa Lamb, who booked a few nights at the Cecil in 2013 as part of a solo vacation along the West Coast. Given the high crime rate in the surrounding area, foul play was initially suspected after Lamb's body was found in the water tank several weeks after her disappearance. But ultimately, Lamb's death seems to have been a tragic accident caused by a psychotic episode. Still, obviously, conspiracy theories and ghost stories abound. We're not going to get into those because we're not going to disrespect her.
No.
Kim Cooper, meanwhile, the elusive Kim Cooper, meanwhile, has spent enough time studying history to develop a keen awareness of how the past can manifest itself in physical spaces. It's not ghosts necessarily so much as a shift in energy. So she says, quote, I do really have the sense that older places have this almost subsonic vibration if you're quiet and you're sensitive to it. You can just feel the presence of those who've come before, and it's not scary and it isn't dark particularly. The Cecil, like much of downtown Los Angeles, is a place where a lot of people have done a lot of suffering, and that has a weight that can't be fully explained. You have to respect it. You have to take it in and say, this place has seen things and it can't tell us what it's seen, but the least we can do is acknowledge it. End quote. That heaviness is evident in reviews from people who stayed at the hotel while it was still in operation. A representative Yelp review read, the Cecil Hotel is where dreams go to die.
Oh, God.
Almost all 600 of its rooms are currently sitting vacant. At a time when people are dying in record numbers on the streets of LA. On the sidewalk just across Main Street, a new homeless encampment has sprung up over the past few months, a hallmark of just how hard the pandemic has hit an already challenged neighborhood.
Yeah.
So there's homeless people just literally sitting across the street from vacant rooms.
That's like insane torture.
Yeah. They were also cleared by the city of LA to allow them to stay there. And they said they would pay the damages done if there were any, to let the owner of the Cecil allow them to stay there during the pandemic. But no. So this is who we have to blame. In 2014, the Cecil was bought by Richard Bourne, whose portfolio of New York hotels includes the Bowery and the Greenwich. In 2016, operator Simon Barron Development announced plans for a major renovation, which would involve turning the Cecil into a blend of boutique hotel rooms and affordable housing. As of 2019, Curbed LA reported that the renovation was scheduled to be completed by this month, October, but no work has begun. It's unclear what the timeline is on any kind of reopening, and just a handful of long-term tenants remain. So there's literally there's people living there, but it looks condemned. That's the crazy thing. As for the hauntings, many believe entities are to blame for the death of Elisa Lam due to the disturbing elevator video of her right before her death, but that has since been disputed given her history of mental health issues.
Got it.
The hotel seems to overtake people mentally and emotionally. Guests experience moments of unexplainable rage, depression, and overall intensely negative feelings. And those start from the minute you walk in.
Right. So it's like possession in a way.
It's almost, yeah. So it's not necessarily that there's not physical entities. It's not disembodied voices. You're not going to get EVPs. It's all mental, and it takes over them. It's just a horrible energy in that space. If you ask Zach Bagels, however, it's a portal to other dimensions, and there's many, many ghosts.
Oh, that guy.
Although shockingly, none have ever been caught on camera, nor with the naked eye. Rather, it's the feeling that the hotel itself could drive people to such violent and horrible ends.
Sure.
The Cecil Hotel was also the inspiration behind Ryan Murphy's American Horror Story Hotel.
Oh.
Yeah. And I believe the lobby was used in the filming as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so my sources are travelchannel.com article, The Horrifying History of the Infamous Cecil Hotel by Beth Braden, a discovery.com article called The Cecil Hotel is known as LA's most haunted for many terrifying reasons by Ruben Westmus, a Town and Country article called How Downtown LA's Cecil Hotel Went from a Lively Destination to Hell on Earth by Emma Dibdin. And in all that's interesting article, The Chilling History of Murder and Hauntings Inside Los Angeles Cecil Hotel by Katie Serena.
Ugh.
What I find interesting is all of these articles have haunting in the title, and they don't tell you about hauntings.
Well, I think I get where you're coming from with the similarities between the two places. Mm-hmm. They both seem to carry some kind of.
There's a lot of suicide and death there.
I don't want to say dark energy, but I want to say
heavy.
Heavy, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
They both feel like places where people just succumb.
Yeah.
And that's what's horrifying about it.
Yeah.
The fact that there's 47 rooms at the Congress Hotel that's haunted makes me think it's beyond haunted. Yeah. There's got to be something else going on there. Mr. Bagel's talking about how the Cecil Hotel is a portal. How about we talk about the Congress Hotel being a freaking portal? Yeah. That's insane. Yeah. How can one place be so insanely haunted?
I literally just read a recap of the Ghost Adventures episode at the Cecil because I wasn't going to watch Bagels. Fair enough. And it was literally of course, Bagels was terrified. He said it was horrendous. There's so many ghosties. And one of his camera dudes broke out in a rage fit. He couldn't explain.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah. Probably because he has to work with Zach Bagels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, woof.
Yeah.
These were pretty awful, guys.
Hotels, man. Hotels.
Scurry
up in this mug. Yeah, I had a totally different one that I was going to do. And it was literally, I got 3 pages of research. I was like, this is boring.
That's about what I had.
That was 3 pages?
Yeah, but I kind of riffed.
Oh, okay.
I knew I would riff.
Yeah.
So I was like, 3 pages is fine. For haunting, I feel like that's pretty normal.
But I can summarize it because I won't ever cover it because it's too short. I was going to do Castillo del Lago, which is it's basically a mansion in the Hollywood Hills.
Mm.
Madonna used to live there. She renovated, and all the neighbors complained that she put in cheap Taco Bell tile. That's all they put it, and like painted the driveway this weird like circus tent colors. Bugsy Siegel used to live there. He was like the LA's Al Capone.
Yeah.
And I guess he killed some people there. The murder, I mean, the hauntings there are like, you can't take pictures in there. Everybody who's tried to take pictures on various different cameras, it's just black.
Weird.
You can't take pictures in there. Oh, yeah. The caretaker of the house reported that doors closed and locked behind him whenever he stepped outside. And when he was alone there at night, he could hear a man calling his name.
Ew.
Ha! We did it. We did it. We did the hauntings. We did the hauntings.
We did the super hauntings.
Ooh, ooh.
Do you have something wonderful to share with me?
I do. I've already shared it with you, but I'll share it with the class. Guys, I paid off my car.
Hey!
6 years. And I'm very proud of this because I bought a car, guys. This is the first time I have bought and paid for a car myself. I was very lucky. My first car was a hand-me-down. My second car was a college graduation present for my dad and grandpa.
Yep.
Good old dependable Toyota Corolla that got me all the way to LA. But this car, it was mine. She was expensive, and I paid for her myself. She's paid off.
Congrats you, well done. Let's ching ching.
Thank you. Ching ching to me. I like being an adult that doesn't have to pay that bill anymore. Woohoo! Can't wait for my credit score to drop because I paid off a debt. Make that make sense. What's your how wonderful?
Working from home.
Right?
Has been bliss.
Well, I mean, you striked and then you didn't have to strike.
Well, we didn't actually go on strike.
Right.
So we voted. Here's the thing. There's a reason why I'm not claiming this as my wonderful.
Right.
We voted to strike.
Right.
We did not strike.
Right.
We're talking about IATSE, which is the union of Hollywood crews. What is Moosh doing?
He's sleeping.
Look at his back legs.
I don't know.
He's weird. IATSE did not go on strike because IATSE and the AMPTP, which is the Alliance of Motion Picture Television Producers, those guys came to an agreement on Saturday, which I guess will be 2 Saturdays from when you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason, I'm very happy. I did not want to strike.
Right.
So I'm happy to see that we did not strike. However, the agreement is not exactly what we were all hoping for.
Right. It's not a wonderful.
It's okay.
It's
better.
It's progress, but it's not, yeah.
Yeah. So like my personal opinion, which I guess would be considered controversial in the IATSE world, is I think the next negotiations will be even stronger.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
It won't happen for a while.
Yeah, it's 3 years. It's a 3-year contract.
Okay.
A lot of people are upset because they wanted the minimum to be a $26 an hour minimum.
Right.
And they do get there, but it's in the 3rd year of the contract.
It's the last year of the contract.
Which is they wanted it to be in the 1st year of the contract.
Right.
Which I understand because technically what we do is a craft.
Right.
And it should be treated as such. So it was kind of one of those situations. And they were also upset about the 10-hour turnaround, which was one of the things that...
it's supposed to be 12.
It should be 12. But they gave us 10-hour turnarounds. I think the biggest wins, which are kind of hilarious when I say them out loud, is we get Martin Luther King Day Jr. off.
Whoa.
Which should just be off in general, but now we have it off. And we also will get 52-hour turnarounds on weekends, which I think is a big, big plus.
Yeah.
Because I think that will help.
Fridays are always super late.
Yeah.
And the Mondays are super early. So
yeah. I think that'll help at least buy some weekends back.
Sure.
A little bit. So it's a little bit of progress, but not the entire progress. I mean, they're still allowing for 14-hour day shoots.
Yeah.
Which is the issue.
Right.
They did up the price of meal penalties, which if you don't know what that is, just Google it because it's kind of a whole thing. I can't even wrap my head around it completely, to be honest.
It's crazy.
But yeah, apparently it's like $25 now for a meal penalty, which is like per person. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
If you think about like, sometimes it's like 150, 200 people on a crew that are getting $25 added on to their paychecks because of a meal penalty. Doesn't seem like it should be happening. You should just break for lunch.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean
why
that's
would
like
they
that's
do
like a
that?
half wonderful. I'm glad that we're not on strike because I personally, I mean, and I think most of the IATSE union would agree that we did not want to strike. We wanted an agreement. We wanted a fair agreement.
Right.
And I think people are happy that we did not go on strike, but people are not totally thrilled with the deal that we made. So I think it's a double-edged sword.
Sure.
So, but I'm happy to be working from
Yeah.
home.
But your
That's my
wonderful
wonderful.
is that you don't have to go to a work. You
Yes.
can be at home with the HR team.
Yes, I can continue to collect a paycheck and just chill with my HR team and like whistle while I work. I can work from my computer and watch movies while I'm working, which has been nice.
Yeah.
I watched a really depressing movie today. It was not
It's
happy.
not a wonderful.
It was not a wonderful. It was definitely an awful, but it was actually a really good movie. I'm part of Film Independent, which is like a group for people that want to be producers or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Or whatever.
So I get like sent links to movies if I feel like watching them, but they like expire after a certain date. So I got sent the link to a movie called Mass.
MASS?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's about two couples, two like older couples that meet in a church to discuss a tragedy in their lives.
Okay.
And the tragedy is that one of their sons killed their other son in a school shooting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they're like coming together to like try and find closure.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I was crying, and then my producer called me to talk to me, and I had to like pause my movie and pretend like I wasn't crying anymore.
Oh, that's the worst.
Oh, but yeah, it was a really, really good movie. Really, really good.
Yeah.
It's like performance porn.
Who's in it?
Jason Isaacs. Hold on. I don't remember who else said it. I just know Jason Isaacs because he's in the OA.
Okay.
So, and I'm obsessed with the OA.
She's obsessed with anything Burt Marling.
Martha Pimpton, Ann Dowd, Reed Birney,
I don't know.
and that's literally
I
it.
don't know any of this.
There's like there's like 3 other characters in the movie, which is like the person who like works at the church, 2 people that work at the church that they're meeting at, because they're meeting at a church to discuss this.
Right.
And I think the lawyer.
Okay.
There's like 7 people cast in this movie. Oh, and there's a random piano teacher and a kid learning piano. That's it.
Okay.
Really, really simple indie movie, but oh my God, was it good. The performances are insane. If you like watching actors act, watch Mass. Not wonderful.
Acting masterclass, but
that was like a sidebar. That was not wonderful.
What horror movies did we watch this week? We didn't watch that many.
After Midsummer, I don't think we had time. I don't think we watched.
No.
We watched Halloween Kills.
But what did we watch? We watched one. We watched The Crow.
Oh yeah, we watched The Crow.
The Crow is one of like my nostalgia throwbacks. It's categorized as horror. I don't consider it horror.
No.
To me, I mean, there's a lot of murder, I guess, and like I could see.
It's just dark and like cool. It's goth.
Yeah, we've covered Brandon Lee, who unfortunately passed away during the filming of that movie.
We kind of like half covered him. I covered his dad. True. I covered Bruce Lee, and I touched on Brandon, but I didn't really cover Brandon.
I tried to do research. That's what I thought. I tried to do research on Brandon, and it was just too much. And yeah, and we watched Halloween Kills, which was okay, but I mean, it did really good in box office. Like, it broke box office records.
The thing about Halloween Kills is if you have not seen the most recent Halloween movie before Halloween Kills, you won't know what the hell is happening because it's literally just an extension of that movie.
It lets off, and it's just a filler movie for what is to come in the next one, which I have my theories about, but I won't say them because it'll be a spoiler.
We're big fans of the Halloween franchise.
Yeah, so if you're a fan of the Halloween franchise, obviously watch Halloween Kills. It was entertaining.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It just wasn't, the best movie we've ever watched.
It wasn't a good movie, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah. So what's your movie recommendation for the week?
My movie recommendation for this week, I guess, is like kind of like a diet horror movie.
Okay.
The Faculty.
Yes, we talked about that a lot this week. It definitely fed our Josh Hartnett.
It is so good. It is such a good movie. It's so fun. The acting is actually really great.
Yeah, because it's Elijah Wood.
It's a cool movie.
It's Sean Hattasey. It's Josh Hartnett. It's not bad. It's Jordana Brewster. Clea Duvall, Famke Janssen. It's not bad actors.
No, it's really good. Huh?
Usher.
Oh yeah, Usher Raymond.
Usher's in
Usher,
it.
baby. Yeah, check out The Faculty. That's my recommendation. Brief synopsis.
Yes. Sell it into
Brief synopsis.
synopsize.
It is a high school students start to become suspicious that the faculty have been possessed by aliens.
Yes. There you go.
Period. What's your horror movie recommendation?
Mine, I'm going to go with another nostalgia one myself. Another diet horror, if you will. I'm going to go with The Craft.
Oh, yeah,
Only
buddy.
like my favorite, probably one of my top 5 favorite movies ever of all time.
Yeah.
Ever of all time.
It's so good. I keep saying we should watch it, but then you keep watching it.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it this year?
No.
Is it on our list this year?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I haven't watched it in years.
No, we can definitely watch it. We can watch it tomorrow.
Great. High five. Let's do that.
Yeah, it's got Fairuza Balk, Robin Tierney, Nev Campbell, Skeet Ulrich.
I was like, don't forget our boyfriend, Skeet.
What's his face? He was Travis. What's his name?
What's his nugget?
He was Travis in Clueless. Oh, God.
The only guy in Clueless I remember is Paul and James.
No.
Paul Rudd can stay. James Franco can go away.
Can go. Oh, James Franco's not in Clueless.
James Franco is not in Clueless?
No.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. You're thinking of
oh my God,
Never Been Kissed.
I'm thinking
Breckin
of Never
Meyer
Been
is
Kissed.
who I'm
Yes,
thinking
thank you.
of.
Yeah, you're thinking of Breckin Meyer. Who am I thinking of? That's not James Franco. It's a different guy. But yes, I am
From
thinking of James
Clueless?
Franco in Never Been Kissed.
You're thinking of Breckin Meyer or Jeremy Sisto.
Jeremy Sisto.
You're thinking of Jeremy Sisto in Clueless.
Yeah. And then I literally replaced Jeremy Sisto's character with James Franco's character in Never Been Kissed.
Yeah, different.
In my head. But Paul Rudd is an angel.
Paul Rudd is an angel always. So pitching The Craft to people who haven't seen it. Girl moves to a new town, starts a new school, and gets in with the high school coven. Ooh.
Okay, what's your song of the week?
Fancy by Len and Stella. I had it
that was easy.
prepared.
You had
Yes,
it
it
prepared.
was. Len and Stella. You don't know who she is. She's fantastic. She was on Nashville with her sister Maisie Stella. She was YouTube famous for her covers with it was Lennon and Maisie on YouTube, but she's a solo artist. And she has a new song called Fancy, and
she's insanely good.
She's so good. She's so good. If you haven't listened to 321, that's her album. Absolutely listen to it. But yeah, Fancy by Len and Stella. That's my song.
I think we have a joint song.
We do.
That we should shout out.
Yeah, obviously.
Easy by Adele.
Easy on Me.
Or sorry, Easy on
by
Me.
Adele. Yes.
But my personal song of the week
Uh-huh.
is a song that just came out called I Feel Good by Pink Sweats.
Oh, yeah. You really like Pink Sweats.
I'm really into Pink Sweats. He's dope. So
Yeah.
check out I Feel Good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I try and think of something that's not like obvious all the time.
I know. Yeah. Adele's obvious.
Hard. Adele's obvious, so but we have to shout. We do love Adele.
Len and Stella's not obvious. Pink Sweats isn't obvious.
Yeah, these are good ones.
It's a good one.
Should we pick?
We should pick. Okay.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
Real life horror movie inspo crime.
Ooh, okay. This is on theme.
Did we do it again?
Mine is real life paranormal.
Real life horror movie inspo paranormal.
Yeah.
All right.
So basically, we're looking at movies that have been made based off of quote unquote true stories.
Yeah. So
with
for
true crime
you,
and
it
paranormal.
could be The Conjuring, which you've already kind of done. It could be Annabelle. It could be so many different things.
I might go off brand.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Do you?
Yeah. I just thought of it just now.
I don't know actually, but I'll do research. This is a new
just thought of
topic,
it
so I
just
haven't.
now, and it's gonna be controversial to one of our listeners, but it's fine.
Oh, I have no idea why.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Okay.
You'll know once I say it. But
Oh, okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready to spiel?
I have to spiel. I spieled last time.
No, I spieled last time.
But I'm so bad at the spieling.
I
You
know,
always
but I
have
like
to correct me.
I like watching you spiel. It's sexy.
Dirty. Okay, so you can go to howawfulpodcast.com for all
yeah.
the podcasting needs.
Oh yeah.
All of the social medias we are on, and that's also where you can find our merch. Don't buy the socks. Did you take the socks off?
No, I'm leaving the socks on.
Don't
buy the socks.
Don't buy the socks. They say hi ufu.
They're so cute.
That was so bad.
Actually, the sweaters and the t-shirts are really, really cool.
Sweaters and t-shirts are cool. The bucket hat's fine.
It's really cute, actually. I should take a picture in it.
Yeah.
Post it.
So you can buy our merch there, and you can find everything that you need to find from us there. But since you're lazy, I'll tell you. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. All How Awful Podcast.
And TikTok.
And TikTok, yes. You can email us at howawfulpodcast@gmail.com. We want to know all of your hometown stories, murders, paranormal activity. If you've been abducted by a UFO.
Please tell me.
If you want to just share something with the class, that's fine. We'll do that. Just please let us know your preferred pronouns and if you want us to leave your name out of it.
Also, Patreon.
I'm getting there. Oh my gosh.
I'm impatient. I love patreon.com.
Patreon.com/howawfulpodcast.
I love it there.
You can support us.
Yes.
You can say, hey, I like what you're doing and I want to support you by giving you a very low fee a month. And I'll get extra stuff for it as a thank you.
Yeah, we post extra tidbits on patreon.com/howawfulpodcast. So come check us out and join the dark side.
Join the dark side. Is that it? Did I do it?
I think you did it.
I think I did it.
You are a success story.
Oh, wow.
Congrats you, well done.
Thank you. Oh, got you well done.
I don't think we ever introduced ourselves.
No.
I'm Tanya Lee.
I'm B.
And we've been How Awful. I wanted Izzy to say it.
Oh. Meow, meow, meow.
I'll take it.
Meow, 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 meow.
Smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Smelly cat.
Totally different. We're on different
I know, but I was
brainwaves.
trying to do it to the tune of Meow Meow.
Yeah, it's the Fancy Feast. Fancy Feast Smelly Cat remix. As always, we've been B and Tanya Lee. Our logo was created by MJ Savard, and our theme music courtesy of Nikki Lou.